Thank you for being here. Thank you to the community, our Facebook group, KW ADHD community. Who's in the Facebook group? Awesome. Okay, who's about to join? Because this looks like a great group. Yeah. Okay, so look up KW ADHD community on Facebook. We don't allow selling. It's completely free. You post in there, I'm having a hard time. If you don't know who I am, my name is Tyler Elstrom. We started KW ADHD 6 months ago. We already have 2,500 members and growing. And it's this incredible community. And I've been a MAPS coach for 6 years. I've led over 9,000 individual coaching calls with the top agents, a lot with ADHD. I ran a team in the top 100 in the world for KW. And I worked in mental health for 4 years prior to that. And I also have ADHD, OCD, PTSD, and I'm on the spectrum. And these are things that I was in these big rooms with Gary Keller and panels and all these things, and they were things that I felt like I had to hide, I was embarrassed about, and I thought if people knew that they wouldn't look at me as a leader, I might not get opportunities. And these things that I hid and I was scared about sharing ended up being the thing that created my career. And what you'll hear about today in the panel is that these things that make us different, and things we've experienced in diversity and all this, they're special. Your brains are incredible. You're about to, yeah, you're incredible. You're incredible. You have a specialized, unique, and amazing brain that can do wonderful things. And that's what the panel is about today. I'm going to give you a quick example. First off, who here resonates with this? Who here has a bunch of thoughts? Like just tons of thoughts, tons of ideas. Can't sit still, right? Maybe people told you, hey, slow down, you're all over the place, squirrel. Right. With ADHD, we have 10 times the amount of thoughts as someone without ADHD. 10 times the amount of thoughts means 10 times the amount of ideas, which means entrepreneurs and inventors. Who's heard of Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison? You've heard of that, right? Thomas Edison created the light bulb. There's a person in history with an ADHD brain that's the reason we have lights today. Someone with an ADHD brain. Alexander Graham Bell invented the phone. This is the reason we have our cell phone in our pocket, an ADHD brain. And so if they were thinking, man, why can't I be normal? Why can't I do this? Instead of inventing and letting their ideas flow, where would our life be? Second one, who here has a car, a closet, a house, a desk that's messy they need to organize? Yeah. Or has had autism and dyslexia? Same, Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, ADHD, right? Albert Einstein, that's where it came from. Think if he was beating himself up on the weekend because his desk was messy instead of working on the theory of relativity. Right? If he focused so hard on cleaning the desk and it was so difficult for him and he didn't do the things that changed our whole culture and our whole world, where would we be? These are the things, these are the gifts that you have. It's incredible. Okay, I could do this the whole time, so I'm going to give you one more and then we're going to get our panel here. Who daydreams, gets lost, forgets what time it is? Somebody forgot something important. Right? You get in your own world. Yeah. Walt Disney, ADHD. Think of, instead of, right, letting himself be in his own world and saying, man, this is immature. Why am I drawing pictures of two mice with a skirt and a bow tie talking and a duck? This is immature. What's wrong with me? Right? Think if he didn't let himself be himself, all the joy and the fun and the magic that we would have had. And that's what today's panel is about. So we're going to introduce our guests, and I'm going to tell you, this panel is going to be very different, structured different, very different than you've ever experienced. So I'm going to open up to the panelists to introduce themselves, and I'm going to tell you about what we're doing.
So I'm Chuck Johnson, Asheville, North Carolina.
Woo! Actually, when did you get that?
Oh, we're twinning.
I'm kidding. But that's my life right there. I've identified with this community, and we have a team in Asheville. My team, Jeff's team, first two ever teams in Asheville, North Carolina to be MREA teams. And I've just learned that everything is, to me, is leveraging all this stuff out. So I'll be able to share that with you when it's my turn. Is that how it's doing?
Hey, good afternoon, Jeff Majeta. I'm from Portland, Maine. Yeah, I mean, everything that Tyler said. I'm definitely on the spectrum. I have the messiest desk of probably everybody in here. I'm so disorganized that I'm surprised I'm still married. My kids are, I'm like the opposite of, my whole family thinks I'm crazy, and everybody I've ever worked with just wonders why I am in real estate, how I sell so many homes, because, millionaire real estate agent, million GCI year after year after year. But 18 years ago, when I left my full-time job, everybody was like, how the hell is he going to make it? He doesn't communicate.
Yeah.
So I'm in the right room, and you all are too.
Way to go!
I'm Sheena Saydam, and I'm in Washington, D.C. I have a small and amazing team. Brittany Nixon's our highest producing agent. She's right over there. I'm just grateful to be out here for this community, and I'm always been told I speak way too quickly, and have a perfect. That is so good, and that is so awesome, and I just felt, I think I started crying. I was like, oh my God, I just felt so accepted, because people tell me all the time, you can't do it like that, you can't do it like that.
Jeff Stewart from Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah. I'm currently an OP, and I've been different my whole life.
I'm Erin Jones. I'm also in the Washington, D.C. market. So I'm a pretty large team. And yeah, I've always been misunderstood my whole life. And it's funny because I have a twin sister, and she is the total opposite of me. But what's so cool is she's a top 25 TL in the company, and we could both do really well being complete opposites. So.
Yeah.
So this panel, here's what's going to be different about this panel. One, in preparation for you today, I've been researching top agents doing over $1 million in GCI in kilograms. And studying, researching, interviewing, surveys, and what we found, there's 5 common themes that every single one of them had in common. And it's not your typical stuff. And you'll see the handout later. 5 things. You'll notice we have 5 panelists. And this one's going to be different too, because this panel is not a highlight reel. It's not about them. We all decided we want to make it about you. They have 5 minutes each. We're going to go through each letter. They have 5 minutes they've prepared for the most potent, helpful advice possible on their secret. And then we're going to open it up to the rest of the panel after they hit 5 minutes for 5 more minutes. And then boom, we go to the next one. So 5 on the person representing the secret, 5 for the rest of the panel, and then we're off. And we do that 5 times. We're going to make it fast, potent for you, and it's about you. And we're gonna start here. So the first one, Erin, number 1, and you'll see in your handout, get the systems in place that are ADHD friendly.
But anyway, I just want to tell a little bit about myself before I get into the systems. But I mentioned my sister. There's a lot of stories that come along with kind of how I'm different in real estate and how I run my business. And a lot of people have told me over the years, you have to dress a certain way, or you have to wear your hair down. You can see my hair like this every single day. It probably might be up in a bun. So that to be said, just be who you are, be authentic, and your clients will really trust you. And that's how I've built my business. I've been myself. I used to live with my sister, actually, and a few years ago, I was headed to a $1.5 million listing appointment, and I was literally walking out the door, and she looked at me and she said, you can't wear that. I said, what do you mean? She said, you need a blazer. And I said, no. And she ran up to her closet, she grabbed me a blazer, and I threw it on. And about 30 minutes later, I walk into my listing appointment, and my sellers were in their pajamas. So I didn't actually get hired for that listing because I wasn't myself. I wasn't my authentic self. So be who you are. I run the top team of the company, and nobody cares what I dress like. Nobody cares if I wear a hoodie to our team meeting, but they want to hear what I have to say. My old boss in my old career, she told me that nobody understood me when I talked. Now I'm standing here in front of you guys, and hopefully you do understand what I say. So, Tyler asked me to speak about systems, and what I really want you guys to know is that systems are not overcomplicated things that you need to go buy in the exhibit hall. We are the most sold to profession in the world. We can do this job for, a lot of what we can do in the systems are free. So yeah, you might have bought something in the exhibit hall this week, and that's gonna help you. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna give you a few tips and tricks that are gonna help you that don't cost any money. So, the first one is really, I'm sitting here with my phone in my hand, right? I've tried every single notebook. I've done Bold Out 11 times. I have probably 15 notebooks because I took up somebody else's or whatever. I don't know where they are. There's a lot of really great thoughts somewhere in the world that I have no idea where they are. But I do know where my phone is. right there. Would I ever leave my phone anywhere? Right. At night, you know, late at night when I want to decompress and watch TV, I'll still have my phone in my hand. I know it's a bad habit. The other day we were watching the Super Bowl and my husband was telling me what was happening. Oh, there was a 55-yard play. I was watching too, but if someone saw us, they would think I was blind. Because he's relaying what happened on the TV to me, and I'm sitting there in front of the TV. But anyway, so the first thing is use what you're going to use and just stick to it. Really, my phone, it always goes with me. I actually take listing appointment notes in my phone. Now, of course, the seller's going to look at me like I'm crazy. They think I'm texting. They think I'm doing all that stuff, and that's okay, because I'm actually going to kill the follow-up. And throughout the process, I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do in that appointment because I wrote it down on my phone. So if I wrote it on a notebook and then I never found it again, how could I deliver that experience that they're expecting from me? So it works for me, and I just tell them. I make a joke about it. I say, I'm not texting, I'm going to take notes. I can actually read my handwriting this way. I don't know if you guys have ever left an appointment, I'm like, I have no idea what that says. Yeah. So, you know, I can write on my phone without even looking at it. I did a test once, somebody blindfolded me and wrote out a whole paragraph. It works for me, right? So, super simple. The other thing is, scripts are systems. I use scripts every single day. My team hears me say the same thing all of the time. Because what I say is a system. When I take buyers out for the first time, I call it speed dating. It's our speed dating system. So we say, hey, we're going to go see 5 or 6 houses. It's our first day out. We're going to get to know the inventory. We're going to get to know how much is 1,000 square feet, how much is 1,500 square feet. And then at the end of the day, we do a draft offer template. So this is another system. I say, hey, I know your face lit up when we were at house number 3. I know you're not ready to make an offer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write you a draft offer and go through that. And it actually pushes them through the pipeline, right? They're telling me over time. So, let's see. Try to get. I thought I had 10 minutes. No, you're good. The other thing I do is I schedule my emails. So I'm often waking up in the middle of the night with the best idea I've ever had in my entire life. So I will write it out. I will literally pull out my phone, write it out, and I'll either send myself an email, or I will schedule an email and then BCC myself so I don't forget that I sent it to someone. And then my to-do list is my email. So my Gmail, my Keller Williams Gmail is sorted by unread first, and that's what I need to do. If it's in there, I will get it done. I can't have a to-do list somewhere else because I will forget that I wrote it down.
Thank you. There's, we're going to open up in a second. A couple things. One, we're having this videotape with closed captions. You know, people have auditory processing disorder. It might be hard to hear. Dyslexia, dyscalculia. We are doing everything to make this as accessible as possible. Everyone here is going to get that. It's going to be posted on Friday. We're also going to take the transcript and do even more notes for you and send you that too. So if you don't catch something, don't worry. I was going to say that one. 2, these guys are so humble. I forgot to say this. Everybody here is about 3 million or above in GCI. They didn't really share it. Okay. And we're going to for this whole thing. If something doesn't resonate with you, I don't care who said it, it doesn't work for you, don't beat yourself up. Find a way that works for you. So think what works for your brain. If scripts work for you and they're amazing, do it. If you need to customize it, if you want prompts. One thing I'll say before you do is, stop putting people on pedestals and thinking you don't know. You know, trust your gut and do what works for you. What matters is the goal, not how you get there. What matters is the goal. So if you hear anything here, we're all on the same level. I just want to throw that out there. You know you. Now we're going to open it up. Because like she said, systems are simple. Now we're going to open up the rest of the panel around systems.
You'll never guess. I'm going to pivot a little bit. All right, so I'm going to ask y'all to join me. This is weird. In my bougie hotel room this morning. Okay? Because I forgot to book my room. All right. So I had like this path of what I was going to say, and then I had this moment this morning. share with you what this moment was, because I think it was really important. I walked over to the dresser, knowing my first speaking engagement was at 7 a.m. this morning. And I stood at that dresser, and I looked down at my medication, and I didn't want to take it, but I felt like I wasn't going to be good enough if I didn't take it. So I didn't take it. And this isn't for or against medication. It's been a great tool for me. But what I want y'all to realize is that if you have that feeling like I am not enough, what does neurodivergent mean? I'm going to invite you to think about it this way. So neurodivergent means divergent from normal, right? For what we've considered to be the average. We're programmed, and sometimes we program others through conversation, but think about what can I do to get to average? And it looks like this. Neurodivergent means not average. You're more than enough. And we have a hard time accepting that because everything we're programmed, how do I fit in? How do I become normal? How do I skip stress?
This is great.
We talked about so much, you have no idea.
No, I'm just
It's
sitting
because
here
you feel
thinking,
so alone, you know.
my daughter is a recovering alcoholic, and she's 3.5 years sober. But she says to me, Mom, you don't understand, like, when she goes to AA, that's her people. And she's like, you don't understand, Mom, like, I have to go to AA, they're my people, and it's something that you just won't understand. It doesn't mean that I don't love you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm 53 freaking years old, and today I found her. I'm Canadian, so sorry. I'm also not Keller Williams, I'm an invited guest, but like just now I want to be Keller Williams. Oh my God! Okay, fair enough. It's not all about me.
No, you sharing, this is the community, right? We don't have to follow a rule. We can speak up.
Yeah!
80% of women or 80% of people with ADHD are undiagnosed, and women so often get misdiagnosed with anxiety, depression, bipolar, personality disorders. They get gaslit by their doctors. There's so much, and this is the space for you, and we're gonna fight for you. And you have us, like you have a whole crew all around.
You guys are better than Mel Roberts. Cross the line.
We're gonna go to I now, internalize ADHD as a benefit. I'm gonna hand it back to you.
Yeah. So my charge to y'all is, I'm from the South. For y'all. Don't be shamed and normalize. I want you guys to lean into it. It took me a really long time to realize the superpowers that I was suppressing were what made me neurodivergent or more than average, right? So lean into those things. Does that make sense? Yes. So it makes sense to use your gifts, right? That's your magic. Use your gifts to be exceptional. So instead of I am enough, I want you to start thinking I am more than enough.
Alright, now we're gonna open up to the rest of the panel to speak on internalizing ADHD as a benefit. So if there's anybody else who wants to speak on that.
I guess I would just say, I think that we are uniquely qualified to grow an extraordinary business. I don't like to say a big business because it doesn't matter. Like, it's just a business that you love, that you're passionate about, that you can get up in the morning doing. I remember people telling me, like, if you don't have any problems, you don't have any appraisal problems, you don't have any problems with inspections, you don't have any hiring problems if you don't have clients. And we are uniquely qualified to go out there and get clients and connect with people. So as long as you're sharing your, who exactly you are, again, connecting, that word connect, right? Being your authentic self. Like you just said, you are so much more than enough. So lean into that. Show people who you are in social media. Show people who you are in real life. And that's what people want out of their real estate agent. They want the friend. They want the expert. So keeping you.
I just want to say, Jeff, one of the words Jeff said that I could not agree more with is it's your superpower. You can either say, I have a problem, I'm this, I'm that, or you can say, I have a superpower, right? And so, one thing Tyler explained to me that was so interesting, I used to be a MAPS coach, and we were talking about, like, say, coaching. You're on a coaching call, all of a sudden, oh, my belt's tight. Man, I'm thirsty. Man, the air is so loud. Is there someone talking in the other room? And all of a sudden, you're not paying attention to the conversation, right? And that is literally my life. I might be talking to you, and I've already looked, oh, she's ADHD. Oh, she's from Virginia, and I'm looking at everything, but I heard everything she said too, right? And so how does that become a superpower? The way it becomes a superpower is I am a conversion machine. You know why? Because I'm so observant. I hear everything they say. I see everything they do. I see if they move their hand. I hear it. I feel it. And then I'm good at asking for those gaps because of that, and I fill gaps. And that's all converting is they have a need, and they're looking for someone to fill it. And if we can use that as our superpower on the conversion side and you have a gift. I'm telling you, we script and role play every day of the week, and there are team members. I'll say, did you just hear that? Did you see that? And they'll, no, what are you talking about? They don't see it. Like, you see and hear things, and we see and hear things other people don't see and hear. It's like, kind of gives me chill bumps. It's like crazy. And once you identify it, I have a superpower. Like, this is incredible, and we're overachievers. I just want to say one more thing that I thought was pretty cool. It's so many more, but Walt Disney, Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan, Einstein, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, on and on and on, people that are highly successful with ADHD. So, to me, it's our superpower, Jeff said.
What he said there, right? I've led over 9,000 individual calls with the top agents in Keller Williams, and what I've found is with ADHD clients, their conversion rate, it takes them half the amount of conversations to get the appointment. It blew my mind. You have very high conversion rate. You have high emotional intelligence, high intuition. There's so many pieces to that, and we're gonna go to the lead gen that's connected to your passion in a second, because your lead gen can look so different. This is a big question in here. Your lead gen does not have to be sitting there for 3 hours using a set script. You can go for a walk. You can go to the gym. You can start a club for video games or fun things. One client I have never done lead gen ever. She's doing $500,000 in GCI, and she loves vintage shopping. Her lead gen is vintage garage sales on the weekend. That's what she does. She gets like a listing or two a week, and she just vintage shops. That's her only lead generation. So again, work with your brain. You don't have to do it the way you're supposed to do it. And now we're going to go to F. Find lead gen that's in your passion. Sheena's given over $636,000 to charity at this point.
And so we can walk around there like, stay in the frame. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. That's what we're most proud of. We've got our numbers, you can check them, but the number that we love the most is that one, and we didn't do it alone. It's all the people that referred us business, it's all the people that trusted us with the way that we run our business. I know we're not supposed to talk about our numbers, but they're really good. I'll just say that.
They're like 4.6.
Yeah. Well, we're the number one team in DC.
500 units.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, the only reason that I want to tell you that is because I want you to really, really hear me and trust me on this. You don't have to buy leads. You don't have to make cold calls. I never have. I've never bought a lead. I've never ever made a cold call. And Brittany can verify. She's there. Our top agent. So. I want you to hear that. I don't know about you guys, I'm so tired of people getting on stage and be like, work harder, keep going, push yourself, throw yourself into cold water. Is anyone else like, no, I don't think so. an alarm. Like, maybe you haven't rested enough. People are so proud they're getting up at 4, like, well, your body's not rested. Like, you're gonna have a heart attack. Like, just be good to yourself. Be good to your body. All right. What else? Any other? Okay. Books. We're also told about all these books that we're supposed to read. Don't read all the books everybody tells you. Read the book that you need. I read books on how to listen better. So I've read like 4 books on how to listen better. A book called Just Listen. That's a really great book if you need help with that. You're not listening to me. I think that's another one. So if you feel like you're kind of short on something, you could use a little bit of improvement. Go find the books that are going to fill that gap. Don't read what everybody else is reading. You don't need that. You need what you need. So it's really all about you. I love that meme. You guys see that meme with the cake where they like cut out the middle piece and it's like, I do what I want. Yes. Okay, that is our superpower. We go and we do things differently. Someone mentioned Richard Branson. He wrote a book called Screw Business as Usual. Have you guys ever seen that? Screw Business as Usual. It's a little long, but he really did. He's like, screw that. Our business is going to be mission driven. It's going to be about building better lives across the entire globe. So that's a great book too. If you need a book, I like to describe this. If you're like, how's the problem? Just write me and I'll be like, there's a book to solve that problem. Okay, The Mountain Is You is a really great book. There's another really great book by Catherine Brown. It's called How Good Humans Sell. It's only like 125 pages. If you have trouble paying attention when you read, just highlight, write, and then take notes afterwards. That's what I do.
What was that one?
It's called How Good Humans Sell by Catherine Brown. It's not a pretty cover, I'm sorry. Another one that you should probably read, I promise I'll get off books after this. The Art of Gathering. That is a gorgeous cover. That's a great book if you like to do events. Or if you just like to kind of humanize your meetings. A lot of us, we think like, okay, we're going to have these events, and we think a lot about I'm just going to invite like the people who have been stuck in this business, or micro events where you can really connect with people. You want to protect the space. You got to think, how do I want people to feel when they get in here? How do I want them to feel when they're here and when they leave? Am I going to get a chance to hug everybody before they leave if they're a hugger? Even if they're not. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So really, I think if you want to write something down, collect people, help them, and love them. That's like our method. It doesn't sound, I don't know, maybe that sounds a little airy-fairy, but it works. Okay, so I grew up in the military. We probably moved like 12 times before I turned 14. And so I got really good at making friends with people. I feel like I was raised to real estate because I had to just leave my friends and make some new friends. My mom volunteered everywhere we went. She did jazzercise. You couldn't really keep a job if you had, if you stayed in a place for 6 months or a year. So she just volunteered, helped wherever she went. Of course, my dad was in the military, so he's all about serving people. So I are so lucky and privileged to grow up, I think, with that life. And I think all of us, if we look back and just spend a little bit of time looking at what has shaped our life, what shaped our lives, and see what values those have instilled in you. My mom instilled in me reading. She never got out to go to college. She's like, you're going to college and you're going to read and read and read and read. And I've done that, and you're going to work out. You got to keep healthy. So I do that. And so I have those values instilled in me, and I turn them into passions that connect me with other human beings. So I have, Brittany, like 4 book clubs. I have a 50 and over club that I just created, because I was like, I hear all these women saying like they're lonely, like their kids have gone off to college. Okay, I got just fun time on me. So you have to go out there, you don't have to go out there and do anything. What I would suggest is you find human beings, you figure out what the need is in your community. There's a homelessness issue, there's a loneliness issue, and we are there to serve our community. I promise you, if you are just going out there and helping people and finding people to help, you'll never, ever run out of human beings to serve. So thank you.
Amazing. And what she said about tying it to your passion, if you have to get motivated, if you have a 2-hour routine to get motivated to do your job, there's something wrong there. When you're going in and you're showing up that day, you know you're going to help somebody, do you need to do an affirmation to get ready? Do you need to watch some motivational video? No, you can't wait to think about before you even get there, because you want to help people. You can absolutely have your #1 primary thing like she has to help people. As a byproduct, over 4 million in GCI, and her heart is so pure, she's not chasing money. And this is what's happened because she's chased people and hearts and making a difference in communities. totally make a confession. Please.
I do buy leads, but like to do. So we have a very similar, I would say, production at this point. It's the team size I have, but I do buy leads, and it's because I actually have a passion for convincing people that they need me from somebody I don't know. And so, and I also pour into my team, and I'm very introverted. People don't think that, because I do act very extroverted, but like at the end of the day, I don't want to talk to anybody else. And I want to pour into the people that I like bring into my organization, which is why I run a team. And so I am not the person that wants to go make friends with all my clients. Like, I can't do it. It's not for me. And you know, so what I want to say is we're doing our business complete opposite. I mean, I do events, but I do my events for my agents. I dread them. I don't want to go. But I do it for my agents. And so we're running the exact opposite businesses, but doing the exact same amount of business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I mentioned I took a bold 11 times, but here's my confession. I never made my contacts. Don't tell the old coaches. But what I want to say is, you're being told do 20 contacts a day, do this, do that, do that. Just make one. Make one more than you did yesterday.
I want to give you guys a little hack that I have for keeping value first. So, if you've ever used an ATM, raise your hand. All right, easy, right? So, real estate, start to view all your interactions as an ATM. Are you allowed to make withdrawals before you make deposits in your ATM? So I literally ask myself and have my team ask themselves when they go into a conversation, am I delivering value first, without expectations? Because if you have expectations, it's a trade. Deliver value, always deliver value, and then you can make withdrawals.
Yeah.
Spirit.
Yeah.
It's time.
All right, yeah.
We move into T, or do you have something on LinkedIn?
I mean, about lead gen, I mean, you can lead gen every different way till Sunday. You know, I encouraged agents because I was super awkward talking to folks that if you just had to do it in the grocery line, that probably wasn't my idea of a good time to connect with people. So I would just run into people out for a run or just whatever I was doing. Maybe it was at the gym. And people started to realize, agents on my team were like, yeah, the 20 contacts, I didn't make my whole contacts. They would just live their life and meet people and interact with them, and then real estate would come up when we, again, put a deposit out there to withdraw was, well, tell me about you, and then, well, how's real estate? And then naturally, buy, sell, invest in real estate would come up just by just doing what you do every day. You didn't have to make this, I've got to do, you know, I've got to call so-and-so for this and that, and, you know, put this stress on yourself, because it just made it uncomfortable, more uncomfortable, and I that would leave my team because they thought, well, he's looking over your shoulder, like, how many contacts did you make? What did you say today? How many appointments did you set?
Well, we're gonna go to that was perfect. Yeah, no, we're gonna go to T for you. So what I'll say before we move back to him for T, people want three things when they're assessing whether they're gonna work with a professional. This is part of conversion. Can I trust you? Can you help me? And you care about me? Can I trust you? Can you help me? And you care about me? When you answer those three things, they're gonna work with you, right? If you're looking at a doctor and you think, okay, do they care about me? They do. Can they help me? Yes. They have good boundaries? Okay, great, I'll go with this doctor. But if their boundaries are wonky, but they cared about you, they could help you, you might feel comfortable. If they couldn't help you, but they cared about you and had good boundaries, you go to somebody else, right? It's just those three things, and boom, you got it. And then lastly, with lead generation, we studied the top 200 agents in Keller Williams. 75% or more of their business came from three sources. You do not have to be a jack of all trades. Number one is database or you're a fool, that's what Gary says. And the other two can be anything you want that are tied to your passion. That's it. Go for mastery on those, and sky's the limit. Oh. Oh, we have a surprise mystery panel.
Mystery panel.
Yeah.
You're not a bold coach, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We got a bolt coach. This is, we didn't plan this. This is exciting.
I'm a recovering gold coach. My name's Sheena.
This way, and then hold it close to your face. Yes.
I would love to counter the idea that you did not make all your contacts. I digress. I think they most likely did make their contacts. What happens when you are blessed with a neurodivergent mind? We do what we do every day and we don't write it down. We don't track what we do. And then we are put into a position of feeling shamed, whether it be on our team, in our brokerage, in the bold room, or in the world, or in our own bedroom. When we look in the mirror, getting ready in the morning, or getting ready at the end of the day, saying, I didn't make my contacts, I should be embarrassed, I'm not as good as everybody else. And so I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure you did your contacts. You just didn't realize at the time how many people you were positively interacting with. And those that reveal themselves to you as prospects, those are the ones that you cared about and made a difference in their lives.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move to the T in our 5. So time blocking ways that work for an ADHD brain. Yeah, take it away.
Thank you. So I'll begin with that I started in the corporate world, very structured, worked for IBM internal audit, and it just wasn't for me. You know, the 9-to-5 day, travel all over the world, it seemed glamorous, but my mind just didn't operate with the, we can only do it this way, and IBM says that that's the only way to do it. And so then I found real estate. Luckily, a person who, when I house hacked my property, they were reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Floored that just appeared in my life. I read it, joined Keller Williams, here I am 19 years later, and I knew I needed to time block to be successful. Everybody in my world was like, you know, socially awkward, he's weird, how's he gonna make this? So I basically locked myself in a room. My lovely assistant Amanda protects my schedule, and I think that's probably the most important thing that you need to do is find your avenue that you're gonna get what you need to done in your time block and manage your calendar. And Amanda would take calls and they would come in and I would get distracted. So another confession is I actually had to leave my market center and open up a mega agent office because I couldn't deal with all of the other agents wondering, what the hell is he doing? Why is he, like, he didn't say hi to me. And I'd say back to them, like, well, you didn't say hi to me either. And so I was that person that, you know, walked through the halls and probably even in the convention center. I've seen some of you and you've looked at me and then I just like looked down. And so anyway, back to time blocking. And what I did is I just needed to minimize my distractions and build that bunker. And so I have a 2-level mega agent office. My wife has a mini spa on the first floor. Amanda makes sure that people can't find me. I have my own spot. My desk is covered with shit everywhere. And but I just need to make calls, and I would encourage you, whatever it is how you need to build your bunker, is just minimize the distractions. Turn out email, give it your cell phone, or get out of email, give it to someone else to do. And I've been fortunate that with close enough business that I could leverage that off to other people throughout the years. And again, back to what not being able to find me. She screens every call, tells everybody that I'm always on appointment, and many of those appointments are actually with myself to, whether it's exercise, get out to just do whatever I need to do to free my mind so that I can come back and be refreshed to then, whether it's hit the phones or go on an appointment, so I don't get double booked and, you know, just feel terrible, you know, going into an appointment and then have back to back to back and then not perform. So she's managing my timer that way. Hopefully I'm not rambling. I do that a lot. Yes, I mean, yeah. Question?
For your time blocking, what do you use?
Yeah, we use Google Calendar. everything's Gmail based, you see. And then she prints off the schedule so I know what to do so that I'm not in the calendar looking at it, because then I can go, reading the news and doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. And then our CRM immediately tells me, what do I have to do today to do tasks upcoming, so we were able to get ahead to do some upcoming tasks ahead of being here, sending out birthday cards, whatever it is that we wishing people happy birthday, which probably have to do a couple of those today. And then it's just, protect your time. Time's finite. We only have so much of it. We don't know when it's going to stop. So it's, live for that. And, I would like to also share that, I've netted $1 million 2 years in a row, getting up. I also wake up when my body's ready. I haven't set an alarm, except for when I'm afraid I'm going to miss my flight. It's at 9:45 tonight, so I'm not going to miss that.
You should still set an alarm.
I won't set an alarm. Don't worry, I haven't set an alarm in probably 11 years.
So you don't miss your
I love that.
Right, I won't miss my flight. Where the hell is I going to go with that?
You did it 2 million and you don't set an alarm.
Right.
Yeah.
Like to net, it felt unbelievable to net $1 million, but to come so far from, just like the communication and time blocking, and I lost my train of thought on the time blocking, because I had like an awesome nugget for you. I didn't say that.
It'll come to you at 9:45.
We can bring you back to it. I think what you're saying though is, when your time blocking and self-care, not every day you're going to be this robot that does the exact schedule every day and you do it perfect or you fail. Stocks don't go up every single day for the rest of our life. We're human. And so I think what you're saying is, sleep in, get the rest you need, and as long as you hit the goal, right?
And you only have so much time. So where I was going with that was that I originally was like 9 to 5, and now it's just all throughout the day. But what I did was, I drop my kids off at school every day, so that my wife can have her time. I also pick them up off the bus. I'm there for every activity of theirs, and I tell my clients that so that they respect that. So really, I work 9:30 to like 3. And I've been able to leverage everything off because I also get what I tolerate, and you deserve that too. So you need to tell your clients, your colleagues, etc., how they should treat you, and you'll receive that treatment. With again, my coach reminded me is you get what you tolerate. If you allow it, it's going to keep coming up. That's the text at 10 o'clock at night. I had to shut my phone on.
That's great. So with ADHD as a coach, what I do different with ADHD versus without is we do really well with structure and freedom within the structure.
Yep.
If it's too rigid, who turns into a rebellious teenager if it's too rigid?
Yeah!
Don't do that to yourself, right? Give yourself structure and give yourself freedom. We're drawn to new and exciting with learning base. So your time blocking is going to look a little bit different than what they say. Yeah, go for it.
Got some time block hacks. Number one, you probably don't believe this still exists, but you can forward your calls. So when you know your lead gen is supposed to start, you can actually, as star 67 or whatever, you can forward it and text still come through. So if you have a partner or an assistant that can text you when it's over to turn it off, because you will forget. It's really helpful to forward your calls when you start lead gen, because we know that a small distraction is going to derail you, right? It's going to take a long time to get back. The second thing would be track your results. So time blocking is about, it's like a test of attrition, right? Everybody's a time block, 9 to 11, right? Who uses the entire 2 hours? No one. So if you start tracking the amount of actual conversations you have, right, and the results, you'll find that it's typical. What I found on myself is it takes me about 30 minutes, 35 minutes of actual lead generation to generate the result I want. What that did was it gave me boundaries. I was able to shrink my time blocking and go into a results-based time block in a smaller window, because our time, the task expands to the time that's allowed, right? So first thing is forward your calls, track your results, and then accommodate those results, like literally shrink your time block down, because I would venture to bet every one of you is exceptionally good at lead gen. You're just all over the place, right? So put some bookends on your lead gen, and you can be highly effective in that. And then when I know I'm in and out in a short amount of time, we come out of procrastination and we get into results. It's fast, it's intense, and I win every time.
So you guys just inspired a few hack ideas that I wanted to share, to remind you guys of these. So a few hacks that I would share, somebody talked about like protecting your schedule. So a little, I guess a script on that, when we go into our buyer-seller appointments, we like to say, all right, so, and you gotta remember, most people sitting in front of you work 9 to 5. So you're like, I tend to start the day at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and I work until about midnight or 1 a.m. That's 6 days a week, or 7 days a week. And you could say that's, I don't know, what is that, 172 hours, whatever it is. But you can show that to people, like how much you work, but then say, there are some times when I have, I have my, however you want to set it up, I have my ringer, you may get my email that's like an away, what do you call that, out of office. And maybe you set your out of office. If you really need to reach me, please give me a call. And most people will not call you, right? So that way you can put your phone away, you can sleep in, you can do all those things. The phone will ring if they really need something, and it probably won't. Something else I did recently was I hired another assistant to work just a few hours a week. I hire all kinds of people to work like, okay, 3 hours a week here, 5 hours, whatever their expertise is. And she goes into my email 6 times a day to see if there's anything in there that she like cleans it up. She doesn't respond to anything, she just cleans it up, unsubscribes, and she leaves the emails that I need to respond to, and if there's an emergency, she calls me. She's never called me. So that way I don't have to be addicted to my phone, because I basically, for like the last 3 years, I've been having migraines, I couldn't sleep. I thought it was just having 3 kids and work, but it was more than that. I also didn't want my kids to remember me like this, right, with just the outline of my face, because, they'll copy that and they'll have that same addiction. So I was like doing gummies and literally anything I could do to go to sleep, and the biggest change was I kind of gamified. I said, okay, when I pick up my phone in the morning, 2 minutes, that's all you get on it. And then I think I was working 10 or 11 hours on my phone. So I got it down to about 4 hours and changed everything. I don't have migraines, I can actually sleep now, so maybe setting some rules up for yourself of like, I have to get off my phone within 2 hours when I go to bed, or whatever works for you. Did you want to add something?
Yeah. So, everybody thinks I'm super loud. So, everybody always tells me that I'm crazy because I actually promote myself as a red flag agent. So, because I literally have like the male flag on my desk, because whenever I need to be able to be in my own time, my flag is up. That means that I am dedicated to where I need to be, what I need to do, and the minute my flag goes down, I gotta line up my door. I run a team, and everybody's coming and going, and when that flag is up, that means my brain is not on squirrel mode, and my 10 balls on my desk. But the thing with the time blocking on your phone, my kids know my code to my phone, and I don't. So they set my time frame for my social media so that I'm not going to squirrel on social media for 7 hours on cat meetings. So that was one of my biggest things that I was like, you let your kids on your phone? Yeah. So I don't stay on it all day long. But that's one of my biggest, strongest things that I tell everybody. Have your kids have your code, you don't know it. You can stay off your social media.
Yeah, that's a great idea. The only other thing I had for like your leadership, if you have some people working with you, we've always been 100% virtual. All of our staff, our Army spouses stationed in the country, our agents work where they work, and we get in touch through Zoom or calls, and we only get together in real life for fun. So, because I get so much more done when I don't have all these people coming and talking to me. So, yeah.
We're gonna hold questions. Well, we're not doing Q&A. We are doing meet and greet. I want to tell you, just so we can be on time, 2 things. We are at capacity. Fire marshal. We have 15 minutes left. If you leave, they won't let you back in. So we have 15 minutes left. So unless you really have to pee, stay, or you won't be able to come back. One thing, and then the second thing, the word procrastination. This is a really big one. Then we're gonna go to Chuck. Okay, a lot of people think everything is procrastination. I'm going to tell you the difference right now, and there's probably a lot of ahas in about 30 seconds. Procrastination is when you could do something and you choose not to. You could do something and you choose not to. Executive dysfunction is when you want to do something, you know it's good, you really actually want to do the thing, and for some reason it's really hard or you just can't. Okay? You are not a master procrastinator. Write that down. You are not a master. You have executive function, which is, a lot of researchers say that's actually what ADHD is. And there are tools for that. And they're very different than shaming yourself and trying to pressure yourself and create pain to do that. That just makes it worse. Executive function is trouble prioritizing, organizing, getting started, regulating emotion, gauging how long things take. So we have a lot of tools and research around that. That's a game changer. I want to throw that out there. Procrastination is a lot of shame. Executive dysfunction, we got a lot of tools to get a lot better. So now we're gonna move to this guy, amazing guy. S, surround yourself with the right leverage.
So I wanted to share something first that Tyler shared with me that I didn't even know this existed. And what he shared was interesting, these 5 criteria, income. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. Interesting, new, challenging, urgent, or passionate. People with ADHD, if it's not one of those 5, and this is how he explained it, and I just wanted to share this because I thought it was so cool. There's a gas tank in a car. Most people have, say it's a 16-gallon gas tank. Well, ADHD people have a gas tank, and it's for normal tasks, whatever. ADHD people have a gas tank that's 10 times that size, and it's their energy, and it's for all these things, okay? Those 5 things, interesting, new, challenging, urgent, and passionate about it. And here's the thing, our gas tank, it might be a third, a quarter, whatever, is much smaller for everything else. And so we run out of energy. So when we're in the tasks that are not one of those 5, that so resonates with me. Like, I've got to be in those 5. Another thing he told me that actually happened on the plane ride over. He said, have you ever heard of bodybuilding? No, I've not heard of bodybuilding. What is that? Well, that's when someone is sitting there actually creating urgency for you. Because I'm watching you do it, and I'm going to watch till you do it. Okay, you also have urgency, now you'll do it. One of my executive team members was there, and we're proofing a new buyer guide, and he said, here, I need you to do this right now. I know we're flying, you have nothing else to do, proof this. He's been trying to get me to proof that for 2 weeks. Okay, I did it. So, and this is getting to the leverage. One of the best things my coach has ever taught me is 10-80-10, the 10-80-10 rule. And that is simply 10%, I'm going to come together with you, and we're going to decide how it's going to look, what we're going to do. 80%, you go do it, because if it's left to me to do that buyer's guide, we're still talking 2 years from now, I don't have a buyer's guide. That's a fact, right? And I'm sure it's a lot of us. Then the 10%, they come back with it when it's done, and we work the last 10% together. And that has changed my life, and some of us probably are OCD kind of control freaks, like, no, I can't give away that 80, they may not do it right. Well, I have to be confident that if they do it at 80% of what I would do it, I'm okay with that. And that's challenging. I would say a lot of people in the room, right? So to me, everything is just a hack. We talk about it on the team all the time. Everything, every system we do, everything is a hack. So why not hack yourself, right? So what I've learned is figure out, and if we went through, my team is sitting right there, if we went through our team members, we practice different ways for each team member to hack themselves. The way I hack what I have to do, I lock my door. You cannot get in my office during that. That's why they were laughing when someone said about the halls, my door's locked. But once I'm out of what tasks I have to do, I'm in the halls. But while I'm working, I cannot, I'll be 20 minutes getting back, right? So we hacked hiring as well. I'm extremely optimistic. I failed at the highest levels hiring over and over and over. I mean, miserably failed, right? And what we learned is, or what I learned is, I'm eternal optimist. I can teach them how to talk to people. I can motivate them. No, I can't. I finally learned. So we came up with a 9-item checklist. And if the people do not rank when we interview them at least a 9 on each item, they're out, no matter what. It's a black and white. Either we think they match that or they don't, and they're out. And then what we did last is the team does the last interview. They have full veto power. If Brooklyn said yes, I said yes, and they say no, the person doesn't join the team. And they've said no to a lot of people we said yes to. Well, that's our protection that Chuck's too optimistic. And guess what? Now they protect their culture in everything they're doing. So to me, the hiring, depending on where your team size and everything, is getting people where they can do the 80%. First, they're confident to do it. You feel confident with it. But it's also them learning you. Like Derek, he knew if he gave it to me on that plane and he's sitting right there, I'm going to do it. But it's been on my desk for 2 weeks. And as several people have said, I probably couldn't find it because there's so many things on my desk. But I've just learned, I've got a little timer. Another thing he said that was just amazing is time blindness. Yeah. Anybody have that?
Yep.
I think I can do it in half the time it actually takes. Right? Well, I've got a round timer now that's digital you see on Amazon, and I do that, and every single time it starts flashing, it's up. And I'm like, God dang, I can't do anything as fast as I thought I could do it. So now I just do more. I turn it up. So that's mine.
I'm going to just talk a little bit more about leverage really quick, because I'm a big leverage person. When I was given the opportunity to come to Pilgrims from my prior brokerage, I remember being walked around the office from the TL, and she said, well, yeah, that person did $2 million this month, and and here's her assistant. And I said, assistant? Well, how much do they get paid? How do I get one of those? And at the time, I was making probably $40,000 a year, and they were like, well, they make about 25 part-time or something. Hiring somebody really quickly, and at first I just hired someone 10 hours a week that I actually split with another agent, sitting there right now, I'm on my co-rainmaker. But at the beginning, we literally just had someone 5 hours each a week, and it made a huge difference because we all have that list that never gets done, right? So if you hire someone to go do that, you're actually doubling your time, and they're probably even more efficient than you are if you give them and empower them to go do it, right? And so for me, I'm going to take back that 10-80-10 thing. I just texted my DO right here. I texted her that because that's how I'm going to remember to do it. She's going to tell me when we get back that we're going to have that meeting because she's my boss. But I have a boss at work and a boss at home. But it's leverage, right? And I'm going to take that because where's Kim? So we just merged teams with another team, and she was their DOO, and how many things have you asked me to do in the last 2 months that I haven't responded to? I'll just say a lot. So, because it came in my email and I just forgot that it was there or whatever. So she's like, hello, can we finish this project? We have a lot of projects that we need to finish. But I'm going to implement that role and go from there. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Sheena will end on this and then I'll close it out.
Okay. I love that. We hire the same way. We need somebody 5 hours, 10 hours, especially if you feel like you can't afford it right now. One little hack that I give to pretty much everyone, including myself, I do this on myself, is anytime you feel triggered, you feel, so the procrastination, I read in this book called, Brianna West, she wrote Mountain Is You. You guys read that? And she talks about procrastination being a gift. If you see that should trigger you. Why am I holding back? So that may go on your list. If you ever feel overwhelmed, write a list of all the things you hate doing and all the things you know you shouldn't be doing because you pay somebody $15 or $20 an hour to do it. That becomes who you need to hire for. Maybe you can only afford a 5-hour week person. There are people out there, trust me, who want 5 hours. They just want 5 hours more. 10 hours. Maybe you need 2 of those people, 3 of those people. So that's what I would do. Every time you feel overwhelmed, doesn't matter what level you get to. I'm out of production, but that's what I do. I tell my agent, and I do it. If I get overwhelmed, I do that simple little test. What do I not want to be doing anymore? I'm going to hire people. Okay, I got to find somebody else to do that. So, good luck. The Mountain Is You by Brianna West.
So I know we have a few minutes left, and that's our panel. Do you see how you're going to be successful not in spite of your ADHD and your neurodivergence, because of your ADHD and your neurodivergence? Don't be the fish that's judging themselves on how well they climb a tree, right? If you go in water and it's effortless and you're flowing and you're swimming, that's how you know you're the right climber. So thank you for being here. Let's give our panelists a... You are incredible. Your brains are amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in the Facebook.